Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty exciting, how the future of transportation isn't just, an idea anymore, it's actually happening.
Yeah, it feels like we're shifting gears, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For a while, everything felt digital, virtual.
Exactly. But now you see real physical ambition, like Abu Dhabi building actual infrastructure. It signals that atoms are back in focus, not just bits.
It's a huge shift, a real seismic change in how we get around breaking some of that stagnation we've seen.
And our mission here, for you, is to really distill the key insights from all the buzz, give you a shortcut to understanding this massive transformation. We're talking supersonic, hypersonic, even autonomous tech. So let's jump in.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Let's start way up high, supersonic flight. It's kind of amazing that we had the tech back in the 70s, but it was banned in the U.S. for, 52 years?
That's right, 52 years. The main reason was the sonic boom, loud, disruptive.
Yeah.
Just shut down innovation in that space.
Until recently, though.
Yeah, a recent executive order finally overturned that ban here in the U.S., and that's a crucial point. The policy's catching up, unblocking things.
And companies like Boom Aerospace didn't just sit idle. Their XB-1 plane. That's made some waves, hasn't it?
It really has. They broke the sound barrier 6 times recently.
Yeah.
And the key thing, no audible boom from the ground.
How did they manage that?
Here, well, they're using AI, leveraging something called Mach cutoff. Basically, under the right atmospheric conditions, the sound waves bend away from the ground. Pretty clever.
Wow. So what does this mean practically? Like New York to London?
We're talking potentially going from, say, an 8-hour flight down to maybe 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. That's incredible.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it ties into that idea, the Marchetti constant, this theory that humans consistently spend about the same amount of time traveling. Faster speeds just mean your world gets bigger in that same time budget.
Right. Expands your possibilities. So on our rational optimism meter for supersonic.
Oh, that's got to be a 10 out of 10. The tech is proven. The path seems clear.
Okay, a perfect 10. But some are aiming even higher, beyond supersonic to hypersonic. That's Mach 5 plus.
Exactly. 5 times the speed of sound or more. And the company really pushing this is Hermeus.
Hermeus. Right. They just had a first flight with their quarter-horse 1 jet.
They did. And it's interesting, the co-founder comes from SpaceX, so they have that same kind of rapid build, test, iterate philosophy. Move fast.
So what's the moonshot for Hermeus? The big vision?
The ultimate goal is their Halcyon jet. That's the Mach 5 passenger plane. Imagine New York to Tokyo in 90 minutes.
90 minutes. Compared to, 14, 15 hours now?
Or even 36 hours back in 1953, according to an old newsreel. It really drives home how far we could leap.
Okay, so optimism for hypersonic, still high.
Pretty high, yeah. Let's say 9 out of 10. But it's probably still, maybe 10 years away from being a common reality.
Got it. Okay, let's come back down to Earth, or maybe just hover above it. Peter Thiel's famous quote, "We wanted flying cars, instead we got 140 characters." Well, maybe the flying cars are finally arriving.
It certainly looks that way. You've got companies like Joby Aviation, Archer. They're doing actual piloted test flights with eVTOLs.
eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing. So explain those simply.
Think of it like, maybe if a helicopter and a small plane had an electric baby, it can take off and land vertically, like a chopper, but then fly efficiently like a plane, maybe up to 200 miles per hour.
And the dream scenario is what, flying over city traffic, like Manhattan to JFK in minutes?
That's the promise. A 10-minute hop over gridlock. Sounds amazing.
There have to be significant hurdles, right?
Oh, absolutely. Regulation is a huge one. This is the first totally new category of civil aircraft since helicopters back in the 1940s. So the rules are still being written.
And the tech itself. Batteries.
Batteries are still a challenge. Energy
Yeah.
density. Roughly 100 pounds of today's best batteries hold the energy of only about 2 pounds of jet fuel. That limits range. And of course, safety and public acceptance are critical.
Makes sense. So, flying cars, eVTOLs, optimism meter score.
Given those hurdles, maybe a 5 out of 10 for now. Promising, but lots to solve.
Okay, 5 out of 10. Finally, let's talk self-driving cars, because this feels less like future and more like
Right.
now.
It really is happening now.
Yeah.
Look at Tesla rolling out its robo-taxi service in Austin. Their AI improvements led to something like a 100x jump in self-driven miles.
And Waymo, Google's project.
Waymo is arguably leading in many ways. They're already doing over 1 million rides per month in places like San Francisco. They have a significant market share there.
I heard you had a personal experience recently.
I did, yeah. Took a self-driving Uber in LA, Waymo powered. It navigated rush hour gridlock perfectly. Flawless.
And the safety data for Waymo seems pretty compelling.
It's incredibly compelling. There's a peer-reviewed study showing Waymo vehicles have something like 90% fewer serious crashes compared to human drivers.
90% fewer. Wow.
Yeah. It really creates this almost a moral imperative to scale the technology, doesn't it? Think of the lives saved.
And the Waymo dividend, what's that?
That's the idea, that as these safer cars become common, overall accident rates drop so much that insurance costs could go down for everyone.
Interesting. So you have Waymo with its LiDAR, the sort of hardware-heavy approach, and Tesla, more camera-based, software-first. Can both win?
I think so. The market for transportation is absolutely colossal. There's room for different approaches to succeed.
So final scores here. Tesla, robo-taxis, and Waymo.
Based on current deployment and data, I'd give Tesla's robotaxi efforts maybe an 8 out of 10. Waymo, given their track record at scale, a full 10 out of 10.
Okay, so pulling this all together for you, the listener, what's the big picture?
It feels like an innovation avalanche, as some call it. Things are speeding up, building on each other, and importantly, it seems like regulators are finally starting to, well, get out of the way in key areas.
Which is unlocking decades of potential. It's genuinely an exciting time to see these things we've dreamt about become real.
Definitely transformative changes on the horizon.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Thinking about all this, especially the self-driving progress, within our lifetimes, do you think it might become socially unacceptable to actually drive your own car? Something to ponder.